who had to put up with that video and put up with, you know, the phrases. I said either it's all okay or none of it's okay.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. That's definitely an issue too, is that...
Because they're going to associate the lack of energy with also now him changing on the political spectrum. And they're going to be like, see, like, liberals are depressing and whatever.
Yeah, because, like, here's an issue too. His old stuff, I wasn't even that big of a fan of his a long time ago because it was just one of my favorite, but it was still funny, right? Like, all of the old iDubbz stuff, the Content Cop stuff was very, very, very funny. So, like, if you go woke, which he's kind of done now, which isn't necessarily bad, but then, like, all your content is, like, kind of boring, then people probably gonna have a really negative association with that.
I am responsible for creating a lot of hurtful and damaging content on this channel, and I've also created a culture of apathy and, I don't know, a lot of, like, cruelty as well. Like, you know, some of the videos I've made have been very, not edgy. I don't think they you know, some of these videos were edgy. I think they were just outright cruel. So I don't want people to, you know, get it confused about, you know, where I stand. I have made some cruel, hurtful content, and I need to acknowledge that, and I'm really sorry that it's taken me this long to acknowledge it. The content I'm talking about specifically are Content Cop videos and videos where I was just generally criticizing people for very lackluster reasons, and, you know, obviously.
What do you think about that? Have you watched any Content Cop videos?
I have, yeah.
Which ones do you think were really excessively bullying?
Is it bad if I say none? I mean, I've only seen like 3.
Wow. Okay, so far you disagree with Ian here, okay.
Obviously didn't have any accountability
I mean, they were
whatsoever
edgy,
on mine.
But I feel like making harsh reaction videos on someone is up. I don't know. What would you consider like internet bullying? Like, what would you consider too far?
My understanding is that, like, most of the Content Cops he did, the people had, like, genuinely kind of, like, fucked up quite a bit. And he was usually, like, calling them out, kind of. But I don't know if they were, like, needlessly bullying. But also, I could be wrong, so maybe there were some bad ones that I didn't see. But, he made fun
of people's appearances and stuff. But I feel like that was kind of, like, in people he saw that, like, deserved it.
Maybe.
And I was morally grandstanding and acting as if I am any better than any of these people that I was making Content Cop videos on, and I'm not. I'm a human. I'm a real human who makes mistakes, and, you know, I make a different set of mistakes than the people I was making videos on, but it doesn't matter. I don't think anyone deserves that level of cruelty or hate. It's also indoctrinated a lot of people into thinking that this is an okay way to behave, and it's not. It's super irresponsible and shitty. I am very insecure about my ability to create interesting content or, like, entertain. It's gotten better over the years, but it's something that I have struggled with constantly. And it's one of the reasons why I, you know, kept making this hurtful content. You know, I ended up pivoting it into other things because I felt bad about it, like, innately. But it's still something that I struggle with, and I don't want you to interpret that as an excuse, but I hope that that is relatable to other creators who maybe struggle with the same thing. I'm not confident in my ability to entertain, and I think if I had to rely on my personality to entertain people, that I wouldn't have any amount of success, and that is really hard to come to terms with. I was being very bigoted in a lot of my videos, and I justified it because, you know, I didn't think it was too serious, and I thought that people were going to see that I had good intentions, you know, but that's so silly, you know. Casual racism is still racism, casual bigotry is still bigotry, and, you know, I said a lot of things that I look back at and I cringe now, and I'm like, that is an awful thing to say. It doesn't matter what my intentions are. Like, if I'm hurting people, I'm hurting people. And, you know, who the fuck knows what my intentions are? Like, sarcasm and, like, jokiness and jokey tone only goes so far, especially over the internet. Even in real life, that's, like, an impossible thing to know with 100% certainty. I've just always had this dumb philosophy that I'm not responsible for, you know, my audience and how they behave beyond what content I put out. And that's stupid. And it's led to a lot of hate and a lot of bad outcomes. And I just want to make it clear that I am absolutely responsible for my audience. And, you know, I guess if you want to, you know, look out for people who are red flags, it's definitely people who had my mentality that say, I'm not responsible for what my audience does. I know that this apology isn't enough. I've clearly done a lot of damage. You know, these videos have been up for a long time and have accumulated millions of views. I shouldn't be able to just make an apology video and walk away from it. This is something that I should live the rest of my life with, and I expect to. I've profited off of this bigoted content for years, and I've made a successful career out of it, and that's not right. I think that this is only a step in the right direction, and I know that a lot more needs to be done to even approach a life that I would think would be, like, acceptable. I am running ads on this video, and any revenue generated from this video I'm going to match and donate to an organization that, you know, would have been particularly affected by the type of rhetoric that I've been spewing on this channel.
What does that even
mean? And again, this is
mean?
the end of what...
An organization that works with people who've been affected by the rhetoric on this channel? He says the N-word a lot. Like, what is he... Like, I just don't get it.
NAACP's got some big iDubbz donos.
I'm doing. This is just the start. I don't feel like a lot of...
What do you think? What do you think about this video?
Have you ever seen, like, Jenna Marbles' apology video from, like, 5 years ago when she, like, quit the internet with it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I think so, but I think it was a long time ago.
I don't know if you watched it, but it kind of felt like overcorrecting. Like, I don't think anything she did was... But I remember that she talks about in that video.
People were saying he actually
malicious.
donated to a black transgender organization.
Just
Is that
stack
like,
them,
what, like
yeah.
7 people? Like, I'm so sorry. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Okay. Sorry, but go ahead. Yeah, the Jenna Marbles did her
Anyways,
thing.
my point was this kind of reminds me of that. Like, I just feel like it feels like... I don't know. It kind of feels like overkill. Like, I feel like the apology doesn't fit the crime. Like, I don't think he needs to be acting like he... Like, he's acting like he killed someone. Like, with a... You know what I mean? Like, drunk drove or something.
Yeah?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, when you say overkill, what do you mean by that?
Like, he's acting like he... I don't even know. Started an actual cult. He's like, I've indoctrinated people. Like, I know he kind of made a lot of guys a little bit edgier, but I don't know if I would call it, like... I don't know. Would you consider anything he's done worthy of the label of indoctrinating people?
Well, when you act in a certain way... Can you read this tweet?
No. That's really funny.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like, I feel like what people are saying, like, maybe influence a lot of edgy 12-year-olds, indoctrinated, that feels a bit severe.
I feel like when he says indoctrinate, he just means he bred a culture of fans that were like really edgy and rude to people. Yeah.
No,
and
I know what
people.
he meant, but
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't know if
you
I
think
would...
the word is harsh?
That's what I meant. I felt like overkill, but yeah.
Okay.
This content represents me as a person, at least not anymore. There was a time where it probably perfectly represented me because I was a nasty, apathetic, insecure person. Now that I don't feel like it represents me and I want to distance myself from it and keep it from, indoctrinating more people, I'd like to unlist the videos so that people, can access them still for whatever, purposes they might want to do that for, but it's not being proliferated on the website. I feel like that's the best solution, at least for the time being. And for anyone who liked those videos, I want this video to be an example and a lesson for you. You can like content, but you can also think that it's irresponsible and it's hurting other people. So just tap into that part of your brain that's saying like, oh, okay, it's probably not that important that this video stays online because truthfully, I've seen it, I've experienced the content, but it's done a lot of damage. We can just let it go. I'm sorry to everyone that I made content cop videos on. I still don't like the majority of you, and that's fine, but I can recognize that you did not deserve the hate and harassment that I sent your way. I particularly want to apologize to Tana. Tana, I'm sorry. I should have never made that video. I harassed Tana in person and then harassed her online, and that's deplorable behavior. It's so stupid. I'm also sorry to all the black viewers and minority groups who had to put up with that video and put up with, the phrases. I said either it's all okay or none of it's okay. And that's just so dangerous and stupid. I have made content that I'm proud of over the years. It hasn't been as consistent as maybe I'd like it to have been.
Are you gonna comment?
There was...
How do you feel? Because you're like affected by like 7 different intersectional ways by his words. How do you feel about that?
He did the you thing where he gave like one racial example and then kind of just stopped it there.
I mean, like, it's the worst one, right? That word.
What's your comment?
Well, I'm curious. I want to make space right now for you to express how you feel.
You're the one laughing.
Yeah, but I don't feel like it's my place right now to speak. I'm here to learn and to listen.
I think it's hard because he probably is sincere. And like I said, I do think it's possibly overkill, but I have only watched like maybe 3 content cops. And I feel like just because of the words he's using, because they're just so often used in these types of apology videos, it makes it come off like it's insincere, which also I hate saying because then I'm also like, I don't think he necessarily needs to say this in a sincere way because, again, I consider overkill. Does that make sense? Like, it doesn't feel sincere, but that's also not me saying like, oh, he needs to be more sincere, because I don't think any of this is super necessary.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yes. Thank you for educating us.
There's a lot of content that I
You're not going to talk? You were laughing so much.
I'm having a good time over here.
Positive on the world, and I'm going to strive to continue on that trend. But again, I'm absolutely going to continue to make mistakes, but I want the mistakes to be a lot smaller and a lot less serious. I also want to give some clarity to the post-fight speech that I gave. I mean, it wasn't a speech, it was a phrase. I was like,
I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I really do appreciate the support, and thank you for coming.
That was addressing the people over the years that I neglected and I left behind. The people whose feelings...
We should watch Hassan reacting to this.
No,
I feel like
stop! You're so different, Brandon. You can have a reaction and watch something else. Somebody else watching it first. You fucking people
No,
there.
I feel like you'll talk more, because right now you're not talking, but if Hassan says one word, suddenly all your opinions
I'm
are
trying to
gonna
wait
come
till
out.
he finishes. I got a lot of thoughts right now, but I'm waiting
Okay.
till I get to the end of the video, okay?
I didn't take into consideration. Those are the people who I was addressing as, I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Anyone who thinks that I should be shouting the N-word from the rooftops, I don't want to be your cup of tea. Now I want to talk about events and situations that have happened over the past 5 years of my life that have led me to the place I'm at now. One year I was at a convention and a bunch of fans were, wanting pictures, and this particular fan came up to me and said, I know you probably don't like transgender people, but can I, get a picture? That smacked me in the face. I was like, oh, holy shit. Why would you think that? But I mean, it was fairly obvious. I was being cruel, hateful, bigoted, and being very uncaring about people's feelings. That is a very fair assessment to make. I was giving this person bad vibes, and I think I've given a lot of people extremely bad vibes. Another event that was very important for me to experience was I went on a boxing podcast. I was basically trying to walk back my Tana content cop. I was still very insecure and uncomfortable with the fact that I made that video, and but I was still coping. You'll see me struggle in this clip to say that it was wrong.
So I just wanted to let you talk on that, right? Because obviously using the N-word is definitely frowned upon by a lot of people, especially by a non-African American, but I was just curious.
That was a very weird video because I wanted to criticize her for her sort of flagrant use of it. I've been pretty flagrant about it too, not in the same way. Mm-hmm. I thought there was a message to be shared there, and I don't think it was particularly... It was okay in criticizing her, but I think I probably wasn't the person to deliver the message, if that makes sense. There was a message that I was trying to put out there, and I'm not really the person to put out that message. I don't regret making the video. I think there's bits and pieces to take from it that I think are valuable, but I probably wouldn't make it these days. I'm very grateful to those guys and how they broached the subject because it didn't put me on the defensive. It just made me realize I'm stupid. I'm stupid, and I really need to acknowledge these things. What am I doing? I'm still trying to make excuses for myself and why I made that video. It's it was a dumb idea. I harassed someone. I was saying slurs and I was trying to justify it all. A very big thing that has sort of altered my view on all of this is just the amount of hate and harassment my wife Anissa has received over the years. She's had to deal with it from the beginning of our relationship, and I have done a horrible job at acknowledging her and her feelings for it. A lot of the time I just thought that was her problem, or that was other people's problem.
Thank you, Mr. Master Miller. Wow.
It's not my problem that you're getting hate and harassment. And it's no, it absolutely is. That's the culture that I cultivated, and I, didn't do anything to change that. Over the years it's changed a little bit, but I don't think I've still fully acknowledged how responsible I am for the amount of harassment that Anissa has had to deal with. And this year, I decided to speak more candidly and be more open about who I am as a person and to speak on my life a little bit more. And I did that on Anthony Padilla's podcast. These are the people that I'm attracting. These are the people I'm entertaining. I need to reevaluate things. They're relating and enjoying this content for a reason, and that's not maybe the same reason that I'm trying to make. I had a very Wild West mentality when it came to online behavior. People are going to do what they want to do. People are going to say what they want to say. And I can pretty much do the same because it's the internet, but I think you have to be a lot more responsible. If you guys are at all interested in how I've arrived here, that video gives a good bit of context and talks about some of my life a little bit. There is a clip from this interview that's been floating around the internet, and it's me calling my fans antisocial and basement dwellers, and I was like, I didn't like interacting with my fans. I just want to be clear, that was my realization. I think a lot of people are like, of course that happened, is because you were creating that culture and you were attracting those people. And it's yes, I know. I know now. I didn't know before. It was my realization upon, meeting more and more fans that I was like, oh shit, you guys are struggling. It was easy for me to identify them struggling when they were outside of my body. But the antisocial basement-dwelling incel that was inside here, I couldn't acknowledge that. I couldn't recognize that. So I needed the mirror to be held up to me. In closing, I want to say that I have always thought that I was an empathetic person because I thought, well, I get angry, I get sad, of course I got empathy. Seems easy, right? Empathy? I definitely have that. There were moments where a dog would die in a film and I'd cry. So it's of course I have empathy. But I never did. I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy. And I'm very ashamed to admit that. It sounds really pathetic to say at the age of 32 I've acquired empathy, but I have, and I've realized it because I just can't help myself but feel for other people's pain and suffering now. I'm still not perfect. I think that is, my empathy meter's only maybe like a quarter of the way filled up potentially, but it's at least there. And I just want you guys to know that you can unlock ability empathy if you experience more life. It might take you getting hurt a little bit, but it's worth it. It is so worth it. So thank you for watching, everyone. I do want to create more regular content, and I don't want to just have the next 5 videos be apologies. So I have uploaded a squirrel video on my second channel if you want to watch that. I guess as one final thing, I just want to thank everyone who's given me the space and the compassion to grow as a person, because it's taken longer than it probably should have. I appreciate everyone, and I think most importantly, I appreciate my wife, Anissa. She has been insanely compassionate and helpful and patient in allowing me to grow over the years, and has legitimately encouraged me to be a better person, and not a better person in just like the iDubbz becoming woke kind of way. She was the one who said that I should try this boxing thing. I would have never done that on my own because I was insecure and I was pathetic. I did this, and I am so glad I did. It's been amazing. So Anissa, I love you. You're amazing. Right now you're streaming, but bon voyage, toodles.
Wow. What an apology video.
Are you gonna give thoughts?
What do you think? Any final thoughts from you?
I think when he brought up his wife, it kind of made more sense, because I actually remember now when I think she started an OnlyFans or started an account, a site like that or something. His entire fan base kind of turned on him. I think I remember there was just a ton of hate of people attacking her. And
I think it was a combination of anytime you get a big content creator that starts to change, people will start to look at other things and blame other people. And I think for him, the easiest thing was Anicia.
But wasn't she there throughout all the content cops anyway? Like, they were already dating, I'm pretty sure.
I
could be wrong,
know
but
if that was true, but I know that once they were way more public about it, like I want to say they started dating, I want to say like 9-ish years ago. I don't know when all the content cops came out of there, before or after that. But but I think that her being there, plus having the OnlyFans, like, and then him slowly changing his content over time, like, I think people started to, I don't know if, it wasn't her fault, or I don't think it's her fault, but like people are just going to point to anything around him to blame.
My point was, like, now that it affected him in his like relationship personally, and he can see like the edginess now being used to actually like harm someone, and he can see like the way his wife's being mentally affected, he's probably like, okay, this is actually having like real world consequences. So that when he mentioned that, it kind of made more sense, like, okay, this probably is coming from like a sincere place where he's like bothered.
Yeah, I think he's sincere. I don't think he's insincere about this. I wish that when people would do, so this is the reason why I don't like apology videos. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with being apologetic or changing content going forward. Like, it's cool if Ian is like, yeah, I did edgy shit and I'm going to try to get away with that. Or I'm going to try to get away from that because I don't think it like represents my values now. I don't think I necessarily like being in charge of a community that's bullying people. I don't think it's good to like put those like messages out into the world. I think that that's fine. But I feel like I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this. When people do this, they seem so like soy cucked. Like, I think it's okay to be like, and this might just be my brain is internet poison, but if somebody's like I could see, like, I've probably made a lot of statements that are similar to this video, where it's like, hey, like, there's some humor that I used to engage in, and now when I look back, I'm like, I can see how this can become problematic, and I feel kind of shitty if I've got like black fans and shit that look at me like, oh, Destiny, like, it feels like you kind of like don't like us as much because these jokes. And I can understand it. It's like, yeah, I probably won't say that, but I feel like there's a difference between that and being like, I realized that when I engaged in forms of highly problematic humor that is employing slurs on the internet, that I'm alienating my BIPOC fans, and I just want to know that you guys understand that there's a safe space for you everywhere on the internet that can be free from hate, and that nobody deserves to be treated that way. And that, like, even though roughly the messages are kind of the same, like, it feels like so... It
comes off more submissive, especially because he's also, like, donating money, which
like,
is fine, but both
I feel like there's,
together,
like, a whole bunch of people in the background with, like, BLM flags and, like, whips that are, like, ready to kick his ass if he's not, like, giving the perfect apology. And I don't know, just it feels like...
When he gave that one part about, like, seeing the mirror of his fans, I feel like that felt like a more original part of it. I feel like if it was all in like that, then it wouldn't seem as soy cucked. Yeah.
Like I said, I think there's, like... Because I think I feel like I've made statements very similar to this before, but like this just sounds like so like I should have. There was a part in the middle when I started laughing that sounded like so. What was it? The one about slurs?
I think it was where he said I'm sorry specifically to black people. And then
he's like, like I want to give a special shout out to my to my African American fans out there that I feel like we're super. And it's like, okay, like we got it, but. Yeah, I don't know. The language and everything makes it...
Yeah, if he like, and then it makes people look bad, because then I remember Sneeko was talking about it, and he was saying like he associated the fact that he says that his wife's wants him to do this, and he's like now associating the whole like OnlyFans wife with the connection of cancel culture, with the connection of like the black trans issue. So it just gives like, you know what I mean? The optics are, it just gives edgy people a way to kind of just like package all those things together and be like, this is like the woke virus and stuff.
Yeah, but I think that Ian genuinely believes this. But then this is also, can you plug your ears for a moment? Okay, I'm gonna say something, but I need you to not get triggered. Okay, can you?
What? Okay.
I think that for a lot of this too, a lot of this is. When do you have to leave? I feel like a lot of this is an age thing, to where Ian is, what is he, like 32? Is that what he said?
I don't remember.
Like, I think when you're like a young man, you're in your early 20s, you want to get out there, you want to be ultra edgy, ultra provocative, ultra whatever, and then like you kind of get older and you kind of grow out of it, and you're like, yeah, okay, maybe like I probably don't need to be like this mean to everybody. I probably could have said these messages in a better way. I probably didn't need to be this edgy. I probably turned off more people than I needed to. I probably could have like communicated a lot of what I wanted to without being like so needlessly aggressive. So like an early 20s male trying to relate to like an early 30s male on that is probably going to be really difficult. That would be my feeling for why a lot of people would view this as like being ultra soy cucked and thinking like there's no way that Ian actually feels this way. Like I think he probably feels this way. I don't think this is like fake, right?
Wait,
I think,
what do you think his, I don't know what his audience age was. What do you think his audience age is now? Would they also be like late 20s, early 30s?
Well, yeah, but mentally they're still early 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that for a lot of people, I think that if you're making content and you're engaging with a lot of people, I think that you can mature. But if you're just watching it, because you have to collect some life experiences to mature. And if you're just watching this guy's content all the time, you might not be getting those life experiences. So there's probably a lot of men in their 30s that are still like kind of mentally like in their 20s because they haven't gone out, collected experiences, and done anything, you know?
Mm-hmm. The other reason I feel like it's going to come off soy cucked is because like, I mean, maybe this is like outlined or scripted to a certain degree just so he remembers all his points, but like people are going to associate edgy iDubbz with like really energetic traits, like him being super witty and like high energy and stuff, versus here he's more chill and stuff. So I feel like if he could somehow have still been, I don't know, maybe that's stupid to expect an apology video.
I agree 100%. That's definitely an issue too, is that
because they're going to associate the lack of energy with also now him changing on the political spectrum, and they're going to be like, see, like liberals are depressing and whatever. Yeah,
because like here's an issue too, his old stuff, I wasn't even that big of a fan of his a long time ago because it's just one of my favorite, but it was still funny, right? Like all of the old iDubbz stuff, the content cop stuff was very, very, very funny. So like if you go woke, which he's kind of done now, which isn't necessarily bad, but then like all your content is like kind of boring, then people probably gonna have a really negative association with that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. What was the reaction to this? Like,
apparently it was really rough. He got 160,000 thumbs up and he got like 100,000 thumbs down, I think, is what people were saying.
Do you feel like it would have been better if he didn't post an apology and just like moved forward with the type of content that he thinks is better, like morally better?
I think no, because he probably had to address things because everybody's like typing like, "Where's the old iDubbz and shit."
Really?
I feel like you can still give like an alpha, confident, domineering like apology video.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be like, "I'm so sorry for like how I've hurt everybody, especially my black friend." You can be like, "Listen, I did content in the past. It's kind of cringe. I don't like it. I don't support it. I'm not gonna do it going forward. If you don't like that, get the fuck out," and then like move on.
Because then they'd respect him more. Because he's like, I feel like in the past seen as a cool person. So if he's still cool giving this,
yeah, then it's fine. Yeah, like I think that's why I've largely skirted by like a lot of my old like edgy shit because I used to be way edgier, believe it or not. But like I'm still very entertaining, very charismatic, very funny, very good at video games, Riz master. Hyper intelligent, good researcher. Like I still have all of my, like I'm getting better in every single trait at like all areas of my life. Yeah. So when I say shit like, yeah, I used to be kind of cringe and more problematic and shit in the past, but not anymore, people are like, okay, yeah, but the new Destiny's so much cooler.
Because you're not like, you didn't become deflated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what the best video would have been that he could have done on an apology video? You know what it would have been?
Said a slur or what?
It would have been if I'm stealing this one from chat, if he made a content cop on himself.
That's what the top comment kind of said.
Oh shit, I just stole that from my DGG chat, sorry.
Oh, okay.
And then if he would have made that video really funny, that actually would have been probably the best way to do it, because then it would have been bridging the old content and the new content.
Yeah.
They would have been showing like, well, you know, I said this, but it was kind of problematic. Like, yeah, I attacked her and she said some dumb shit, but she was also like fucking 18, right? So like,
But if he sees it to the level where he thinks he was indoctrinating people, I don't think he would do that tone, because it sounds like he literally thinks he was doing something so wrong.
But that's the issue. The tone wasn't the problem. It was things like word choice and stuff, right? Like, I think that like you could still have the general character of the content, but just like in a less kind of like bullying or problematic way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you rate it?
I give it a 5 out of 10.
What's like a 10 out of 10 apology video?
Anything I've ever done ever.
Have you put out apology videos?
I was one of the first people to stop saying like 10 years ago. Way before, when everybody was still saying it.
What does it have to do? Like, did you put out an apology video?
I wrote a whole article about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Can we read one of your articles next?
My 18-year-old Radfem articles.
I don't even remember. Oof, I don't know if I want to read this. This is way too long. No, never mind. Maybe later. This apology of yours is best. Hold on, what is this? On past professional relationships. Oh my god, I look so cringe.
Let's do it.
No. Oh my god, I don't even want to look at myself. I look like a fucking weirdo. Okay. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna go to California now.
I have these videos say Pearl reacts to Destiny being delusional. How doctors tell patients they're dying. What is this? Oh, this. Oh, did you hear about this abortion baby?
No.
He didn't. No, I don't care about this. Vosh. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Just gonna order my Uber.
That's fine.
Should I wait outside?
No, you're okay. Oh, I have to explicitly tell you you're allowed to wait here, or
Yeah.
else you're gonna like go on the balcony or something, huh?
Unless you wanted to like drive me to the airport or something, to be nice.
Do you want me to pull my chat to see if I should cut my stream right now to drive you to the airport?
You did the first time we hung out, and I thought it was so nice. I was like, nobody does that.
Wasn't that because you came in at like 10 at night?
Yeah?
If you get a later flight, I'll drive you to the airport.
Really?
Yeah, if you want me to.
If I move my flight back?
If you fly out at like 10:30 or 11, sure.
No.
Oh, there you go. I offered. Okay. This guy online he's on some crazy shit. This guy says that I met him in real life, and I said,
You're gonna put it on the thing?
They already know this. He's like, you met me with a girl named Naomi in that shop, 5-minute walk less, blah, 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 blah. My name is Walter on Twitch, and here's the part you'll definitely remember. I was a man with a giant rainbow butterfly wing attached to a full masculine suit. Still don't remember? I could definitely believe you wouldn't remember the comment, since it was your own words, which to you were less shocking than me. But surely I was the only butterfly man you encountered all year. I felt it was disturbing, but would accept an apology because it was just words that were hurtful rather than anything huge. It specifically hurt that you said it, in my opinion, knowing Naomi's history, since you are a friend who helped her just like I did. I didn't know Reddit would just blow up a comment where you would see it, but my statement is 100% true. You made a good person who actively helps people in bad positions feel really awkward in front of a friend. I didn't understand why you linked behavioral biology to being pro-rape, but you said it, and being called pro-rape for no reason in front of a friend fucking sucks. So apparently he said that I met him in real life, and he was like, I'm a behavioral biologist, and I said, does that make you pro-rape? Which, honest to God, 50%, it sounds like a comment I might make. I don't actually know. I might have said that, but I don't remember this at all. And he like brings this up in some Reddit thing. No one's ever DM'd me asking for an apology. And I responded, I said, I honestly do not remember this interaction at all. I will say, though, if I made a comment or something that made you uncomfortable, fuck you, I don't care, eat shit. That was my apology.
Nice.
My favorite Destiny apology. What is this? Did you call your Uber?
Maybe.
Oh, you can call your Uber. You're good, dude.
I'm calling it.
Oh, okay.
and I'm going to say this. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm going to say it. Maybe one person could say they're sorry. Other person could say, cool, we can move past it.
Who am I arguing with here that I'm apologizing?
Right? Just get it done, right? And then
no need for apologies on Destiny's part. It's perfectly fine. Like I said, I never wanted apology, but I did try to reach out to him to have a one-on-one discussion, like to really get down to the nitty-gritty, to make sure I wasn't misappropriating what he said. But like I said, he doubled down on what he said, so fuck it.
Destiny.
I'm sorry that you're such a bitch ass trying to fucking.
Okay, no, stop, cringe, hold. Okay. We can't see. I don't even know who I was arguing with here. Oh shit. Okay. Bye.
I mean, I can cancel it if.
No, that's okay. It's just so soon. I thought I was gonna have like at least like 3 minutes, you know?